Welcome to Luxury Beast YouTube channel, where we can explore all topics related to luxury. For more upcoming videos, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Like, comment, and share to your friends. From China's most prosperous train to Japan's island airport, the most expensive roadway project in the United States to date, here are the top 5 most expensive building projects in history. Which building project affected your nation the most? 5th. The new Suez Canal offers the quickest maritime connection between Europe and the Indian and Western Pacific Oceans. The previous Suez Canal was finished in 1869. It still has a 193-kilometer length and is one of the busiest maritime channels in the world. The significance of the Suez Canal is demonstrated by the fact that the 6-day blockage it experienced earlier this year cost global trade more than $50 billion. Despite its enormous importance, just about 12% world trade was conducted over this canal last year. The majority of the canal only permitted one shipping channel, which allowed an average of 49 cargo ships per day to enter. Egypt therefore began construction on a second shipping route parallel to the Suez Canal, 35 kilometers long in 2014. The previous waterway was greatly expanded and deeper as a result of the new Suez Canal. Just 1 year later, the $9.2 billion renovation was finished, allowing for two-way traffic. Additionally, it reduced the amount of time transiting ships had to wait. As a result, by 2023, 97 cargo ships will be traveling through the Suez Canal as a result of these developments. Additionally, it is anticipated that the canal will bring in more than $12 billion in income in 2023, up from just under $5 billion in 2014. It is among the most costly building projects in history. The new Suez Canal, on the other hand, is predicted to recover the billion invested in its development. 4th. The English Channel Tunnel, which connects England and France, is a difficult thing to overlook when discussing pricey maritime transit projects. The tunnel, which is almost 50 kilometers long and is the longest undersea tunnel in the world, carries high-speed train traffic. The concept of an undersea tunnel linking France and Britain dates back to the early 1800s, but political upheaval and technological constraints delayed construction for nearly 200 years. Drilling started in 1987 on the British side, while work on the French side followed around a year later. The hardest job was making sure the two sides would actually meet. They did this by using specialized lasers and surveying tools. It was a huge relief though when they finally connected on December 1st, 1990. For the first time ever, Britain and France were linked. Due to the project's accomplishments in civil engineering, it was finished 6 years after it began at a total cost of $12 billion. Despite being one of the modern world's 7 wonders, the cost of the Channel Tunnel cannot be disputed. But building a second tunnel across continent ultimately cost considerably more. 3rd. The Boston Big Dig. To replace the antiquated core artery route, which could only handle 75,000 vehicles per day, this project was approved in 1987. However, it was being used by more than twice as many automobiles each day, which resulted in delays of up to 10 hours to address the issue. An 8-lane expressway with up to 6 kilometers of travel would be constructed beneath the center of Boston. The large dig's construction began in 1991 and was initially scheduled to be finished 7 years later. However, there were some issues and delays, like with many large-scale projects. Due to environmental concerns brought on by the area's proximity to Boston Harbor, the authorities were unable to get the required environmental permits until 1994. In addition, the soil's composition and 2 nearby subway tracks made building difficult. The majority of the region through which the tunnels were to be excavated was landfill. Additionally, it was necessary to dig out the foundations of several sunken ships and buried dwellings. Along the way, they also discovered some ancient artifacts from the time before the American Revolution. Due to this, the $2.8 billion budgeted expenses increased, and the project wasn't finished until 2007 after a 9-year delay. According to the Boston Globe, the project would ultimately cost $22 billion, including interest, and won't be entirely prepaid until 2038. But it has already improved the area's traffic problems. It can accommodate more than 250,000 vehicles each day, ensuring a smoother traffic flow and simpler access between cities. However, there are still significant traffic issues in the city, and it is asserted that the project has just moved them to other locations. On the other hand, the massive dig's completion has succeeded to lower carbon monoxide levels in the neighborhood, improving the quality of life for the locals. A little more than 300 acres of land were made available for green initiatives, parks, and open spaces once the old elevated roadway was destroyed. What do you think of this venture? Tell us in the comment section below. Second place, International Airport of Kansai. Moving on from tunnels, we travel to Japan's Kansai area to get a closer look at the first airport ever constructed on a man-made island. Due to its remote position, the Kansai International Airport, one of Asia's busiest airports, can operate continuously. When this offshore airport's approval was given, the area for its construction did not yet exist. Therefore, building an artificial island large enough to house a top-notch airport was the first stage. Construction on this artificial island and the location of the future airport began in 1987. 3 mountains were crushed and dumped into a seabed made up of countless large sandpipes, laying a 30-meter layer of soil on top of the water. The outcome was a 2.5-kilometer wide and 4.5-kilometer long artificial island that was finished in 1990. 4 years later, the airport was completed and it was formally inaugurated in 1994. The overall cost had increased to $24 billion after minor repairs, improvements, and the building of a second runway. The Kansai International Airport became popular right once thanks to its innovative location and engineering. Kansai International Airport served more than 28 million passengers in 2019, placing it third in Japan behind Tokyo Airport and Narita International Airport. The Beijing Capital International Airport, which passed the 100 million passenger threshold that same year, is still far ahead of it. With that in mind, the airport is being expanded to allow it to handle 40 million international passengers annually by 2025, although the most costly transportation project is still to come. Our top choice. The best is the high-speed railway between Beijing and Shanghai. The train line was built in under 3 years and reduced travel time by more than half. The $40 billion railway, which is 1,320 kilometers long, was completed and made accessible to the public in 2011. Over 1.3 billion people have already used the railway route in its first 10 years of operation. Every day, 41 bullet trains that move at speeds close to kilometers per hour leave for Beijing, traverse through Nanjing on their way to Jinan, and arrive in Shanghai in roughly 5 hours. Before this high-speed train was built, the same trip took 12 to 14 hours. With a daily peak of 798,000 passengers, the rail route carried over 210 million passengers in just 2019 alone. Consequently, the project was a huge success even though it cost the taxpayers more than $40 billion. China's high-speed trains run on subsidies and losses for the most part. But in 2015, the Beijing-Shanghai High-Speed Railway was able to bring in about $1 billion. Up until 2019, the company's net earnings climbed by up to 40% annually. Even the Shanghai Stock Exchange listed the railway line's outstanding accomplishment in January 2020. It made its market debut following one of the largest initial public public offerings, epos, and Chinese history, during which the business raised over $4.50 billion by selling more than 6 billion shares on the first day. Even during the pandemic, the most expensive transit infrastructure project in history remained profitable. It is still regarded as the most lucrative railroad line in the entire globe. Have you experienced one of these pricey yet fascinating big projects firsthand? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Please like and share.